You probably think you've got it figured out by now. You've been doing it since you were a teenager. It's always been private, personal, simple. But something changed, didn't it? You're not sure when. Maybe it was around 60 or 65, or maybe it was last night when you realized it didn't feel the same, that something about your body or your mind or the after feeling had shifted. What if I told you that the way you've been masturbating could be quietly undermining your health, your confidence, and your ability to feel like you again? Most men think masturbation is just maintenance, like shaving or brushing your teeth. But past a certain age, it's no longer just about release. It becomes about relationship, your relationship with your own body. And if you're still using the habits you learned at 16, there's a very real chance you're working against your own wellness. You see, past 60, the male body starts to change in ways few ever talk about, and even fewer understand. Your blood flow isn't what it used to be. Erections take longer to build and longer to fade. Sensitivity shifts, nerve endings dull, testosterone drops. But you already knew that part. What no one tells you is how these changes affect your solo intimacy, not just physically, but neurologically, emotionally, even spiritually. And when you ignore those shifts, when you keep treating your body like it's 25, you don't just lose sensation, you lose connection. The first mistake most older men make? Rushing. In your younger years, speed was the goal. Quick, intense, efficient. But now, that same pace puts stress on your pelvic floor, builds tension in your nervous system, and reduces nitric oxide levels, robbing you of relaxation and, in time, even function. Over time, the faster you go, the less you feel. The second mistake? Pressure. Grip too tight, and you begin desensitizing your own tissue. The penis becomes numb, not just physically, but neurologically. Your brain stops associating touch with pleasure, and worse, it begins to crave only the overstimulated pattern you've trained it to expect. That leads to a deeper issue: performance anxiety during intimacy, difficulty climaxing, and eventually detachment. But there's a third, more subtle mistake, one that hurts far more than your body. It's the emotional detachment, treating masturbation as mechanical, disconnected, shame-driven, not taking time to connect, not slowing down, not being present. And when that becomes the norm, you start to disappear from your own experience. That's the real damage. That's what most men never recover from. And that silence, that growing void between your body and your spirit, it doesn't stay in the bedroom. It follows you. But what if I told you this? Masturbation, done right, can heal. That it can improve blood flow, increase pelvic strength, balance hormones, and even reduce the risk of prostate disease. That it can restore confidence, not drain it, and most importantly, that it can reconnect you with a part of yourself that you've lost. You don't need to stop. You need to change, and that change begins with presence. The real solution isn't about stopping the habit. It's about reclaiming it, transforming it from a reflex into a ritual. You don't need to perform. You don't need to force. You need to listen, because your body isn't broken. It's asking you to slow down, to shift the way you relate to pleasure, sensation, and time itself. Here's how to begin. Tonight, quietly, intentionally, not out of habit, but out of care. Set the scene, dim the lights, turn off the phone, breathe deeply, place your hand on your lower abdomen, notice your breath, feel your heartbeat, let your body arrive. Because if you're not in your body before you begin, you'll never feel what it's trying to give you. Then, use a lighter touch. Focus less on friction, more on sensation. Explore, stay curious. Touch isn't a race. It's a conversation. What areas feel dull? Which feel sensitive? Where does your mind wander? These are not distractions. These are invitations. Start incorporating breath. With every stroke, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. This connects your arousal to your nervous system. This is what helps nitric oxide build, what fuels erection and release. Not just physically, but energetically. Avoid porn if you can. Not forever, just tonight. Give your imagination the space to return. Porn overstimulates dopamine. It burns out your reward system. And for men over 60, that's a recipe for disconnection. Fantasy is not the enemy, but habitual dependence on external stimulation, that slowly takes your power away. And finally, don't make orgasm the goal. Make presence the goal. Trust that pleasure can exist in the journey, not just the end. You may not climax every time, but you'll feel deeper, and that depth will carry into your confidence, your mood, your relationships, and your health. Because this is about you, all of you, not just the parts that perform. You've spent a lifetime caring for others, providing, protecting, performing. But somewhere along the way, maybe no one reminded you that you deserve care too, not just in public, not just when it's convenient, but in private, in silence, in the quiet rituals that no one else sees. Masturbation after 60 isn't about shame. It isn't about decline. It's about rediscovery. It's about choosing presence over pressure, exploration over expectation, feeling over finishing. When you stop treating your body like a machine and start honoring it like a vessel, you don't just reignite your confidence. You reclaim your dignity. You'll begin to feel stronger, clearer, more connected. Your blood flow will improve. Your pelvic muscles will engage. Your prostate health will benefit. But more importantly, your sense of self will return. And the next time you look in the mirror, you won't see a man who's fading. You'll see a man who's aware, present, alive. Because you never needed to go backward. You only needed to go deeper. And it starts with one moment, one breath, one hand, tonight.